Well, there's only 2 days now until the new EP, Necrophase Antidote, is released.
Yes.
Judging from the title, I'm assuming that these were recordings kind of left over from the Necrophase sessions. Is that right?
Yes. And originally, when we did Necrophase, even the Wasp song that's at the end of the Necrophase record was intended on being like left off as well. So we just had a couple of cover songs and a couple of old renditions of my old band songs. And yeah, it was just something that it didn't really fit the Necrophase thing. And then we're like, all right, what are we going to do with this? The pandemic's going on. There's not really anything to, hey, we've got enough stuff here. Let's put it out. And so it's just something to kind of fill this awkward void in the world.
Yeah. And it's good, you know, like Wednesday 13's one of those bands where there is that kind of dark vibe about it, but it's always been a really fun band, you know.
Yeah, it's always been not too serious. It's almost like a good Friday the 13th movie. You kind of leave going, wow, that was brutal and scary, but it was fun, you know.
Yeah.
You're not going to go home and try to reenact it, I hope.
I was bloody tempted to when I saw you at Bloodstock a few years ago, but
yeah,
couldn't find any girls like that wanted to reenact the show with me.
Yes, the rock gods were with us that day.
Yeah, it was a fantastic show, man.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. But do you think having a new release, be it an album or an EP, whether at a time like this, is helpful for people in general? When, like I say, it's a fun band.
Yeah, I think music and anything for at any time is helpful for people. I mean, everybody, they come home from work, they turn their TV on, they put on Netflix or whatever, and they watch all, you know, it's just it's a release, it's entertainment. Unfortunately, with a pandemic and in the music business, it's not the smartest thing business wise to go, hey, let's put out a full album in the middle of something we can't tour on, or you know what I mean? So having something hidden or not hidden, but something on the back burner that we could pull out in the middle of this instead of going, hey, we got to record a new record. And so yeah, it was just, again, I think anything is helpful during this time. You know, just interacting with the fans and letting them know that you're still alive, you know, is good. And this lets people know that, hey, the band's still kicking. We're not, this didn't shut us down or anything, you know?
Yeah. No, it's great to hear from you again. You know, not that it's been that long, but it's good to see.
Thank you. I'm still here. I'm still standing. Yeah.
Like you mentioned, there's a few covers on the EP, Gary Numan and INXS, which I think at first glance for some people they might be a little bit confused by those choices.
Well, yes, and I think that's always for me, that's always been a fun thing. I mean, to do something expected is, you know, which is why Wasp was cool. That's something people go, oh, I can't believe you guys haven't did a Wasp song before or something, you know, or Kiss or Alice Cooper. That'd be expected, but you don't expect this, you know, just like Murder Dolls did White Wedding. It was kind of it was that kind of approach to it. Let's take an old song I grew up listening to and revamp it. So that's what we did with that. And the same thing with Gary Numan was just take what he did and just put a new twist on it.
Yeah, and you've definitely done that.
Thank you.
No problem. Were these songs specifically, were these always kind of viewed as we could do something with this, or was it more you wanted to just cover these bands as being a fan of them?
Well, the INXS song was something we've been kicking around for a while. Roman had the idea for that for a couple of years, and then when it came to recording this record, we're like, all right, we got the songs. I got the kind of theme of the record planned out, but you know, let's go ahead and throw these extra ones down. And at the time, I had just was on a huge Gary Numan kick, and it was like, all right, we can do these 6 songs by Gary. Which one should we do? So I finalized it down to that one. So yeah, it was, and I always think that's cool to do something that there's a lot of people that have never even heard anything from Gary Numan besides Cars.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even know who he is or anything. So for us, it's always fun to turn our fans on to other bands or bands that influenced us or still influence us. I mean, Gary Numan's still kicking and making. He's got a new record coming out. The singles are great. So he's kind of reinvented himself. So he's just been all around a huge inspiration and influence. And hopefully we didn't do that bad of a cover in his eyes. We'll find out one day.
Well, it's funny you say that, because that was the first time I ever heard White Wedding, was the Murder Dolls version when it came out.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, again, for some people, it's new to some people. It's new to some people. And that's the good thing about music. I mean, I was telling someone the other day, like, there's music that was just not on my radar when I was younger. Just, like for me, I can listen to Peter Murphy. I can listen to Killing Joke. I can listen to all this post-punk music that at the time I just was not on my radar. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted Motley Crue and Twisted Sister, and that was just too, and I was happy.
Yeah.
And the same thing, as I've gotten older, and I'm like, oh, I can relate to that now. Life's not always rainbows and stuff. It's the same thing with like old country music too. Is like, you don't understand it as a kid. You kind of got to live life a little bit to understand what some of those old songs are about. So for me, again, I just turning people on to new music is always going to be new. You can be listening to Led Zeppelin for the first time and go, whoa, I've never heard anything like this. Well, it's new to you,
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's on the Gary Numan cover that you've worked with Calico Cooper. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, Calico, it's whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
How did this collaboration come about?
Calico and Alice have been friends for years and years. Alice took us on tour in 2005, 15, 16 years ago now, and became friends with Calico and Alice. That's how Alice got on the intro for Necrophase. And Calico was in our video for Blood. In one of our videos years ago. So she's just, we've just been for years. When I first moved to LA, I got to stay in basement while I moved out here for the first time. And so we've kind of always helped each other out. I went and filmed some stuff on one of her movie TV show things that she does. I still have never seen it. I don't want to see it, but I got roped into acting on something. I got an award. But I still don't want to know what it is. So I don't know. I filmed it, but yeah. I said, "How did that turn out?" Because it did really well. We got an award. I went, "Okay, all right." So we've just kind of always helped each other out, and so I was like, "Hey, you want to sing on this? Cool." And then the same thing, we sang on the 69 Eyes song that came out a year or two ago as well. So yeah, it's just work. I think when people, I mean, I really realized it with this downtime and just the music scene may seem big to some people, but it's really small behind the scenes. Everybody knows somebody somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's a cool little group of people. It really is a community of people, and everybody knows each other, and you know who's good and you know who's bad.
At least you know.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It gets around. So your reputation does mean things.
Yeah. Well, also on the EP, you've got a Screwdriver 2, The Return.
Yes.
Is this a reworking of the old song, or is it like a thematic sequel?
Well, at the time, we had just started playing that song live. It was cool to break out an old song and hear what it sounded like in a different tuning, because the original song's in like standard 440 tuning. This is like in the Wednesday tuning, which has always been like a full step down, like drop C tuning. So it's just got a heavier, it's still the same rhythm of the song, the same, it's still like 2 minutes long. But instead of just going, hey, here's another version of Screwdriver, I thought it would be fun to make it like a sequel. So I rearranged the lyrics a little bit, so it's almost like a sequel. So yeah, and you know, I've always dabbled with my imagery with horror music. I mean, horror imagery and everything, and I just thought that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because to me, reading the back of a track listing, if you got anything these days, if there even isn't any artwork, at least your song titles can be interesting. So when you read something like Screwdriver 2, The Return, you're like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Or your mother
Yeah.
still sucks cocks in hell. You're like, what? So to me, having a good song title can make someone want to check it out. And that's always been, you know, to be that oddball to do something that would make people go, huh? Did I just read that right?
Yeah.
So that's always been my shtick, if I ever had one, was just to offend people with just a little thing like that, or to get people's attention, and it still works all these years later.
Yeah, and like you say, the horror movie comparison is very apt. You know, in the sense of, again, to use Friday the 13th,
Yeah,
your Friday the 13th films are more or less the same film every time. So when
exactly.
it's Friday the 13th part 3 to 4, even though 4 is a much better film,
Yes.
you know what it's going to be. So to have Screwdriver and Screwdriver 2, it's like, okay, so you've got that groundwork to go from.
Exactly. It's just like a new take on an old, but it's still got the same ingredients. It's still there. It's like, oh, cool. So new, you know, it's nothing. We didn't branch out and reinvent anything, but it's a new take on it. And I thought that was kind of cool, because I've re-recorded songs over the years, and you know, and that just separates any confusion if you see it in the track listing. Screwdriver or Screwdriver 2. Oh man, 2 is better than 1. Fuck you. I like 1 better because I heard it. You know, and then you start the whole debate, the great Screwdriver debate of 2021.
Oh dear, I like it. Just as long as it doesn't go up to Screwdriver 5, A New Beginning.
Why not? Or about I was telling somebody else, like, man, I'm working the is it the ninth Wednesday 13 record. I'm like, man, I'm like Jason Goes to Space now. That's what I'm gonna call the next one. Wednesday 13 Goes to Space. Wednesday 13 in the Hood. Fucking Leprechaun. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm still having fun with it, and that's the way I think that's the way to approach it. I can't imagine going, you know, again, I'm not one of those bands that always looked at music as being this. I'm serious about it, but I'm also not. I don't take myself so seriously. I can't make a joke with it. So that's why I can make a joke going, yeah, Wednesday 13th. It's like Friday the 13th part 9. It is. It's just like, but if you like the ingredients of those, you're not going to be disappointed with it. You know, so that's kind of that's something I've to this level or last this long, or I always hoped it did, but it's cool. So now I'm like, yeah, I'm on part 9 now.
And I like Friday the 13th part 9, so that's a good sign for me.
Yeah. I liked was it 8 Manhattan and 9 was Goes to Hell, right?
Yeah. I just
9
thought
was
that
great.
one was pretty different. So
I thought it was so ridiculous. It was good. It had every rip off of every movie. The little his like demon seed leaving his body into another one that was used in every movie, like Night of the Creeps. I did. That was the best one in a while, just because it was so over the top.
Yeah, man. Well, like you say, it was good to have this material in the back pocket, if you like, to kind of have it as a stopgap. We're starting to see things improving now with the pandemic. Vaccines are coming out and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Do you think it will be too long before you're able to start recording the Wednesday night?
Oh yeah, I mean everything is in full motion. You know, basically, I knew that. Well, I didn't know what was going to be happening with the pandemic as far as things opening up or anything getting sort of back to normalcy. But I was still going, okay, I'm doing a new record. So I'm scheduled to go in July to record, and we're talking with our agents already of doing a small tour in October, November. I'm already looking at dates and getting things booked for next year. So everything is looking open, and hopefully we're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel for this stuff, and it's such a weird thing, man. I think the last 3 months have been the most long and just for me than it was at all last year, just because it's just like it's still just taking forever. I didn't you never thought something like this could be taken away. It's I never would have thought that. So I think musicians, I think the real fans of music and going out is, I think when it does return, you're going to see a lot of grateful people, and the energy level, I can't even imagine. So when our concerts kick back in, it's going to be a release from both sides. So I'm excited to see that. Maybe it's taught people to, musicians included, quit being so, that don't take this for granted,
Yeah. Well, Wednesday, it's been really great to speak to you this evening. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me.
Oh, thank you, man.
No problem. And good luck with the EP, and hopefully everything's resolved by the end of the year and you can get out playing again.
Yeah, man.
It's
Yeah,
an
we're
thing. It's a Wednesday 13 show.
Yeah, man. It's been too long. So I think you'll see us sooner than later. So all right, man. We'll see you soon. Take care.
All the best, mate. Bye now.